Michael Zeldin is a former federal prosecutor and the host of the podcast That Said with Michael Zeldin. He joins us now from Washington, D.C. Welcome to the program, Michael. So Trump's lawyer says the charges against him stem from an Espionage Act charge. What exactly does that mean, and what are the consequences of such charges?
In this case, the Espionage Act means that the president, when he left office and became former president, retained classified documents or documents that involved the national defense. He's not allowed to keep those documents. They belong in the archives of the United States. So the archives asked for them back. He refused to give them back. He obstructed their efforts to get them, and he's been charged with that unlawful retention and that obstruction of their effort to get them back. Those are very serious charges. They carry multiple years in prison were he to be convicted. The thing about it that we need to remember, of course, is that this is a self-inflicted injury. He didn't need to do this. He could have, like every other president, simply returned these documents, pleaded sort of ignorance that he took them, like former Vice President Michael Pence, and the whole case would have been done. But he has hubris beyond any other politician that we've known in modern history.
It's a very good way of putting it. He certainly does have that hubris, because he's always insisted he had the right to take the documents, but he's never said why. So what are his lawyers going to then put up as a defense here?
Well, I think they're going to try to say, one, that he declassified these documents and therefore the government was not entitled to them, which is really not a defense, because in this case, classification is not really at the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is, did you knowingly retain something that didn't belong to you, classified or not? They're going to also say that this is a selective prosecution. That is, he's being targeted for political reasons, and the jury should therefore reject any effort to indict him. And then I think he's just going to make a whole lot of noise about how he's a victim and that this was a ramrodding of, the Justice Department in a weaponized way against him, and hope that he gets a sympathetic juror in Florida where the case is being charged, a state that he won when he ran for election.
And he's already saying all of those things. We've yet to hear from the Justice Department. How strong, though, do you think the federal prosecutor's case is? And with regards to them deciding to charge Trump in Florida, they had the option to do it in Washington, D.C. Why do you think they chose Florida?
It's a safer place legally. That is, if you look at the charges that the press has been reporting, he obstructed justice. He conspired to obstruct justice. He tampered with a witness, and he made false statements. All of that stuff occurred in Florida. Only the taking of the documents started in the District of Columbia. And so it's just a safer move to try the case in Florida, although the jury pool in the District of Columbia would be much more sympathetic to the prosecutors than would be the Florida jurors, would be the thought.
And Michael, just finally, what are the political implications now for President Trump, who is, of course, trying to run for another term?
Yes, well, his supporters have already begun to rally around him. And in quintessential Trump mode, he started sending fundraising letters out to raise money because of this so-called witch hunt. And I think that the base will continue to rally around him. However, I think there's a growing number of Republicans, many of whom are running for president, who have said, enough's enough with this guy. He is bad for the country. He is particularly bad for the Republican Party. And they're going to try to, I think, go at him in ways that he didn't experience in 2016 when he ran the first time.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting in the coming days. Michael Zeldin, live there from the U.S. Capitol. Thank you so much.